Building on the knowledge and wisdom of Jim Cummins, I created this metaphor. And remember, metaphors are very important for us in education, because a metaphor is a way of capturing an idea, a complex idea, and making it concrete enough that we can remember it and understand it and build on it. So this watershed metaphor contains the different streams of knowledge in our multilingual education knowledge base. And it's important to think of it like an ecosystem. What would happen if we dammed up too many streams of knowledge? You know, it would destroy the whole ecosystem that we're working toward. Therefore, each of these components is very important and contributes to the lake of knowledge, a transdisciplinary knowledge base. For example, first and second language literacy pedagogy. In other words, we look at how a child learns to read in his or her native language. And for example, our research in Mexico showed us that major education reforms came about after 1998 in Mexico that shifted the focus in their programs to metalinguistic knowledge, what they called reflexión sobre la lengua. So in other words, a lot of reading instruction was based on teaching children how language conveys meaning. And we'll be talking about the metalinguistic approach and metalinguistic knowledge. But also, second language reading specifically looks at how a child is learning to read in a language in which he or she is not fully proficient. And one of the things about learning to read in a second language or non-dominant language is that there will be a different trajectory in terms of comprehension. And for example, one of the great researchers in this area is Elizabeth Bernhardt. And she points out how students will have more challenge with syntax when they're learning to read in a second language. And second language acquisition research also tells us about stages and levels of proficiency that students go through and what forms, grammatical forms and other forms emerge at those stages. And then of course, the neuroscience research, which we'll be talking about, because it's very important that we're looking at the bilingual brain and el cerebro lector, right? So that research is contributing a great deal to our understanding of the importance of creating pathways in the brain in terms of language and literacy. And also cross-linguistic transfer facilitation, which is very much related to metalinguistics. And of course, the critical sociocultural pedagogy. In other words, in our context, when we're teaching language and literacy, we're also teaching culture. And there are ways to teach culture explicitly, but also looking at the whole sociocultural activity of literacy learning and how it varies across cultures. So we are looking at the science of language, not just the science of reading. And here I show you a graphic of a review of the literature from Spanish-speaking countries and how it's distributed, what emphasis they give. You'll notice ortografía is a very important part, studying how Spanish spelling communicates the meaning of text, and vocabulario, comprensión, but also the metalingüística in terms of the way language makes meaning, and reflexión sobre la lengua. But notice there's also a great deal of research on writing, because great literacy researchers like Emilia Ferrero emphasize the fact that most children learn decoding through writing. And we'll look at specifically some aspects of, some features of that writing instruction that are really important for Spanish speakers.